My name is Ron Harichandran, and I'm the Dean of the college. Let me walk you through some of the highlights of the programs in the college so that you can narrow down your choice as to where you're going to attend this fall. I'm going to give you a tour through the 4 years that you will spend at the college here. This gives you a rough timeline and the activities that you will engage in during each of those years. And we're going to walk through these one at a time. You will have the opportunity to live in the first year in a living learning community, the engineering living learning community. And this is in really the nicest dorm on campus and the newest dorm. All the engineering students live in one floor of that dorm in West Side Hall. An advantage is that you're going to live with students who have a similar work schedule, similar levels of rigor in their programs. And so you can sort of, have the same outlook, the same work ethic in that first year while you're transitioning into college. If you are in other dorms, you may be placed or have a roommate who is not in engineering or computer science, who may have a lot more time on their hands, and God forbid that you should end up with a party animal who is going to be distracting to your studies. But of course, only a third of the students typically who enter in the first year can be placed in this living learning community. This year we have about 70 students who lived in that community. Now, a unique opportunity is also for engineering and computer science students to study abroad in our campus in Prato, Italy. This is an unusual opportunity because it's very difficult for engineering students to spend a full semester abroad, take a full set of courses and have them transferred, not lose time, not lose credits, and so on. It is a tremendous opportunity. And also because engineering and computer science now is really, these are global fields. Companies work in a global setting. They are multinational. They work with teams of engineers in other areas of the world. And so the comfort level of being able to interact with people in other disciplines or in other countries and other cultures is all very important. And this gets students' feet wet in that process in the first year. We do this in the second semester of the first year, the spring semester. It's a great experience. The students who have done it have really enjoyed it. The cost of this program is the same as room and board and tuition for students living on campus, plus the additional airfare of an air ticket to go to Italy. Students also do field trips and so on, and in the weekends they might take off to other countries, and there may be some incidental expenses due to that. But otherwise, it's a very low-cost experience in that context of study abroad. We put a lot of effort in developing students' technical communication skills. Now, I know when I have a live audience and I ask for a show of hands of how many students think that they are good at writing, perhaps I would get 3 hands in 100. Now, that's not unusual. Most engineering students think that they want to do engineering because they don't have to communicate. Well, that is not quite true. Employers put communication skills at the top of their list. And so the ability to, write, convey your technical work in written form, in oral form, using visual aids, these are very, very important skills. And it's not something that you learn quickly. Many of you have been in school for K through 12 years, and yet, struggle with the communication perhaps. So it's something that takes an immersive experience that really needs to happen over a period of time. And so we have an integrated program where the communication is integrated into regular engineering courses. What that allows us to do is to focus on the technical communication part, where you're conveying technical skills, and also allow us to integrate them through 4 years, so you have the time over that period of time to get repeated feedback and so on, so that you can develop these skills with practice. And what's shown there on the slides are some of the instruments that we use to develop the skills over these 4 years. And again, this is true in engineering and in computer science and cybersecurity. Yet another unique feature that we have is the development of what we call an entrepreneurial mindset. And so we have modules integrated into regular engineering and computer science courses that will develop, ideas such as learning from failure, creative thinking, some of the softer skills, but the more creative skills that are important in engineering. Something that might have been beaten out of you while you were in high school because teachers have told you do things this way, don't do it that way. We want to reopen your mind so that you can really be creative. Engineering is not about having one solution. There are multiple solutions to a given engineering problem. And we really want students to be able to open their minds so that they can explore those and be the most creative people in the company. Now, another very new and unique program that we are putting into place is a mentorship program. One where incoming students will be paired with a sophomore or a junior who has already been here and has experience with the curriculum, the school, the university, the lay of the land. And so there will be a platform that will be set up to assist or to facilitate this mentoring, and students will be able to elect into it and be assigned a mentor. And I think that is really important in terms of the development of new students. And then as they progress through their programs, also, it's very important as they are seeking careers. So for juniors and seniors, we are providing them mentors who are alumni or professionals working in industry. So they can have input, help, feedback about what it is that they can do to position themselves best to get a job and be successful in their careers. Now, outside of courses and so on, we have several opportunities for students to work on student clubs and teams and develop leadership skills in the process as well. So here are some images of some student teams. On the bottom left there, you see the chemical engineering car competition, a small shoebox-sized car that is basically operates, starts, stops with chemical reactions. Our students have been tremendously successful in the competition and placed high in the regionals where they compete against really top schools like Cornell and the University of Massachusetts Amherst, UConn, and so on. The middle picture there is the civil engineering students who build and raise a concrete canoe every year. And on the right there, the lower right, you see our hacking team. And our students have been tremendously successful in their hacking competitions. They have really earned top places in competing against strong universities like Carnegie Mellon University and West Point and so on. So very high performance again on that front. So these clubs and competitions allow incoming students to also be in contact with upper class students and facilitate the bonding and the camaraderie that develops. And we very much like students or allow students and nurture them to work on research if they are so interested. Not everyone has to do it, but the students who are interested can work with faculty mentors. Often students do this a little later when they are, juniors and seniors, but we've had even first-year students work on research projects and be very successful. We have particular thematic areas, both in research and in the academic programs, that allow students to develop expertise in some of the cutting-edge areas and disciplines that are going to be relevant for the next 20 to 30 years. So here are some images of those. You know that Renewable energy is here to stay. Our reliance on fossil fuels to reduce global warming and so on is a concerted effort. So whether it's solar, wind, geothermal power, we are interested in exploring energy from these sources, and we have several faculty who work in this area that students can work with. The middle picture there is displaying sustainability. It's about how to keep the world green, in a sense. And what that means is that in delivering engineering products and services, how do you do this without depleting the resources for future generations? You know, at some point in time, many of you will have children and grandchildren, and so we would not want to deplete our natural resources for those future generations. The third picture there is in cyber forensics. You know, many of you, I'm sure, have had your bank accounts or your points on your credit cards hacked, stolen. And so once that occurs, sometimes we have to do forensic work to determine who might have done that. So cyber forensics, a part of cybersecurity, is a very strong field for us. And so that picture demonstrates some students working and recovering evidence from computers. Biomedical engineering on the lower left there, it's a graduate program for us. We have undergraduate tracks in the general engineering program, or chemical engineering, or even electrical engineering that can lead you into a biomedical master's program. But we have several students as undergraduates have worked on research projects in biomedical engineering, whether it be in materials or in tissues or in biomechanics. The last picture on the right bottom is kind of displays an issue of wireless networking. Many of you, I know, have gizmos in your pockets in your houses. These gizmos talk to other gizmos. They do this wirelessly. So how do you do this in a convenient way and yet a secure way and so on? This is an area that a lot of students have worked on. A little more attuned to students in electrical engineering, computer science, cybersecurity, but certainly an available research and focus area at the college. Now, hopefully you are interested in one of these programs on this slide. Many of these, almost all of them, are accredited by the ABET, which is the board that accredits engineering programs and computer science programs. The cybersecurity program and the computer science program also is also designated as a center of excellence by the National Security Administration in cyber operations. There are only 21 schools in the whole country that have that designation. And so we are really in an elite crowd in that context. So there are pathways within those two programs that allow students to have a cyber ops designation. There are some students who want to develop expertise in a particular area, whether it is in the same area in which you're earning the undergraduate degree, or in, you want to branch out and develop management skills, or perhaps even switch fields, maybe go into data science, which is applicable really to all engineering disciplines. If we do have a number of linked programs between that seamlessly carry you from a bachelor's program into a master's program. And you can complete both the bachelor's and the master's in 5 years by pursuing one of these linked programs. You would need to make a decision in your third year about that option, and then in your last year, typically in your senior year, you will be taking some master's courses to fulfill undergraduate requirements, and in this way we accelerate the ability for you to earn a master's degree. So this slide shows the various programs that have linked programs available with the asterisk that you see there. And the poster there about the STEM Career Fair, we organize one every February. And we have 50 to 70 companies that come to recruit students for jobs and for internships and so on. Finally, I typically get a number of questions about placement after graduation. This slide shows a variety of companies in which students are placed. And you can see that I've tried to select companies. These are this is a select list, companies that represent all of the areas of engineering, computer science, and cybersecurity in the college. And there are many more. And as I said earlier, right now, engineering is a very, very hot field, and over 98% of our students are getting jobs within a few months of graduation or even prior to graduation. So we provide, I think one of the things that employers tell us is that our students are really ready to hit the road as they start working. They don't need a lot of retraining. Our program is hands-on. Our students are ready really to begin charging right as they are hired. And employers find that, of course, very, very attractive. Before we close, let me play for you a short video of some alumni testimonials.
When I came here, everyone was just so welcoming and friendly and energetic, and it really seemed like they enjoyed being students here and hearing their experiences and the different things that they've done on campus really made me realize that I would like to be a part of that.
There was this beautiful hill that overlooked this really beautiful city. And then when I got into the Tagliatelle School of Engineering, it was the professors. It was just how welcoming they were. Even if you weren't one of the students that they were going to be helping, they were saying hi to you, they were talking to you.
It's small and compact, and all the professors, a lot of them do research, so they're very hands-on as well. They know what it's like in the real world, and they know what it takes rather than just teaching bookwork.
The course that kind of put me on my path was one course that I took in Italy was Art and Science of Renaissance Italy. And in that class, Professor Murphy took us all over Italy and showed us a lot of the historical buildings. Like one of them was Brunelleschi's Dome. We actually climbed to the top of it, and it was quite impressive to see.
I'd say the most fun was Introduction to Engineering because it touched on all different kinds of engineering, and we were able to build bridges with spaghetti.
When I applied here, I was going to come for psychology, so I didn't know what programming was when I came to the school. So my first programming class, it was my first time ever seeing any of this. And it was extremely intimidating, but it was actually a lot of fun.
I went to the career fair in the spring, and Vic was there, and I handed them my resume, I talked to them, and then I got a call from them later on in the semester. I had an interview and got the internship, and that was pretty much it.
And Sikorsky contacted me, and they really kind of saw my resume, and I had a lot of VBA experience. That's something we learned in 211. So having that experience in 211, and also with my database experience, that really pulled me into Sikorsky. And really after the internship, they hired me on full-time because I was able to apply my skills from school.
My sophomore year, I was offered the opportunity to be a teaching assistant, and I thought, oh, that's a good idea. It helped me reinforce what I've been learning as well as helping others, and I just absolutely loved it. It was great. I mean, when a student would come to me asking for advice and I'd be able to help them and see on their face like, oh, I got it, thanks, and then walk away, I walked away feeling really good about it. So I pursued that my entire career, and I was tutoring in the physics lab as the TA there. And once I finished that, I really felt like, oh, I wish I could keep teaching, So I had, just asked, and they happened to have an opening, and now I teach.
My favorite part about this place, a lot of colleges don't let you have the experience of building things and working with your hands and actually applying engineering principles. This place gave me a lot of opportunity to build things and really create robots and create other projects that I really got to work on. And that's what's so important to me is being able to try things out and understand it, not just from a theoretical standpoint, which some colleges do. This college really helps me understand from a practical standpoint how to do things and really why engineering principles are important.